Hey guys, Dr. Dex here. We recently put out a questionnaire to our audience to see what you guys want to see on our YouTube channel. So don't forget to give us a comment below. If there's some topic that you want to know about or you haven't seen on our page or that you haven't seen on our channel, drop a comment below and let us know and we'll consider it for a future upcoming video. All right, and also, if you like this video, don't forget to click that subscribe button. We really appreciate it. Or one of the things that people answered several times, they said, we want to see a tour of your new truck, doctor. And so I figure, okay, it's time. It's not quite exactly finished the way I want it, but it's very close. So this is a 2021 Ford F-550. It's a really robust truck. It's probably the last vehicle I'll ever have to buy for my business. I bought it new in 2022 and I just got lucky. I came in at the right time. I have an old 1996 W4 GMC cab forward. It's like an Isuzu style truck. You guys have probably seen it in older videos. And she was on her last legs. We upgraded for this new rig. My wife Kiki was really adamant about me having a safe vehicle. So anytime I towed our tool trailer with our old truck, I would be locking the brakes up and the truck would be skidding and the trailer's pushing us to a stop sometimes. Not safe. This truck, and I'll get into it in this video, is so the perfect vehicle for what I needed. So originally when I bought this vehicle, it was white and it had a landscape bed on it, which it still does, but we had it modified severely to accommodate for our needs. We'll start with the outside of the truck and then we'll go to the inside of the truck. So the first thing I did was I took this vehicle and this bed of this truck used to be 8 inches taller. It was a true landscape truck and it has a dump, which is awesome, but I needed a lumber rack, a robust lumber rack on top. So I hired a local welder to cut 8 inches off the top of the landscape bed, lower all the doors, and put a heavy duty rack on top of the truck. The reason I chose an F-550 was because I wanted something that could carry whatever I wanted. I wanted a high GVR. I even had to get a Department of Transportation number for my truck because, and I had no idea, to me this truck drives like a F-350, but it's just got bigger brakes, bigger transmission. This truck has a 10-speed transmission instead of a 4 or 5-speed transmission. The 550s are detuned, so they're not like hot rods. They are slow to take off at lights and that kind of thing, but that's just because they want them to go a million miles as long as you maintenance them. The F-450s are tuned a little differently and they have a little bit more low-end torque, more power. Because I've talked to a few guys that have them and I was trying to decide which truck do I want, but I just wanted a truck that I didn't care about being able to take off fast at stoplights and that kind of thing. I just wanted a truck that could tow, that could stop, and that could carry. And that's exactly what we have. So let's get into the back of the truck. Like I said, I had the whole top of this thing was cut down. And then we had this lumber rack installed. And the guy that I hired, he was pretty smart about what he did. There was this tarp that you can undo and you can stretch it out. He was able to cut through the walls and remount this tarp, and it still fit perfectly in the bed. So we still have full use of this pull tarp when we need it. We don't use it very often because usually we're carrying heavy loads and lumber, but sometimes we have lighter papers and things like that might blow out on the freeway. So, as far as safety is concerned, we will use this and we'll pull it out, and it's a great add. We added all these side steps because this side is a little bit harder to access than the other side. There's no side door on this side of the truck. We have these that we can pull down and step on and get across. He also added some other D-rings and loops that we can use for tying things down, straps, and that kind of thing. Probably one of the coolest features that we added were these semi-straps, the semi-truck straps, but these ones actually click. When I'm winding, I don't have to. Well, let me show you. So right here is our cincher. I could pull this piece off here and I can use it as a binder. What this does is when you're strapping your load, you just have to put the bar in once, and then as you're strapping, it actually ratchets. So you don't have to keep pulling this out and then finding another and then cinching it back down. You can just sit here and crank her down. So it saves a few seconds on every time we're installing our straps. When I bought this vehicle, to me it was like spare no expense. Make it exactly the way I want it, and then I'll never regret it. I've had it for over a year now. It took me about 6 months to get it dialed in, but I'm really happy with the way it turned out. There's some landscape racking for shovels and rakes and that kind of thing. We don't really use it very often. I suppose if we really needed to, we could, but it's always for just having stuff accessible on the back of the truck. As we come around here, there's 4 of these semi straps attached. It's a dual wheel configuration in the rear. It's also a diesel. Diesel fuel right now is higher than gas, but it is what it is. I need the power, so I'm okay with that. So as you come around the back, one thing I really like about the dump bed, my old truck, I always have to take the receiver hitch out when I want to dump a load. But on this truck, I never have to take the hitch off. It's rated for 17,000 or 18,000 pounds for towing weight, which usually that is satisfactory. We don't ever hardly tow more weight than that. And then my welder added these levers because these pins right here were really hard to push up to open up the doors. And he realized that, so he made these configurations. So all I have to do is just lift like this and it lifts the pin and then we can access the bed. So as you can see inside the bed, it's completely flat. So anytime we have a load, everything just comes right out, and it's an awesome truck for that. Things don't get caught up on the edges like it does in my old truck. Every time I go to dump, it just comes right out. We added a little step up ladder right here that nests inside its own frame. So when we need to get up into the bed, we just climb up this ladder. So I don't have to have a separate ladder every time I want to climb up into the bed. There's also another ladder I'll show you in a minute that's on the other side for entry from the side door. The rack, these are 2x6 steel bars that go across, and they are all removable with a couple of pins that we just take off. And I've already lost one of these. Actually, I lost the new one twice, but nobody got rid of it. I was able to go back down and fetch it. So that is one thing about removable bars, is you gotta be careful what you do with them. And they are numbered because whoever manufactured the truck, by the time it's done, each bar is a little bit different length. So it's 1, 2, 3. We can completely pull all these off, so I can forklift, put high loads in here, whatever I gotta do, it all comes apart. There's D-rings in here for its secondary attachments, which I use all the time. As a matter of fact, we're gonna have a couple more added. That's one thing I really wanna do, is add those additional D-rings inside the bed so that we have multiple attachment points just for lumber and other things like that. So both these doors are hinged. They have grease zerks, so for longevity. Standard towing stuff. It's a 7-pin plug, standard hookups for that. I can tow anything I want. I mean, I tow this trailer that has heavy duty axles on it, and when it's fully loaded, it's extremely heavy, and it stops on a dime. And it used to not do that, but now it do that. And I'm very happy about that. The chrome wheel simulators, the only thing I like about them is not the color, but I do like the fact that I can air up on the outside on both of them, which is kind of nice. But I'm probably gonna change that in the future. We're probably gonna murder those out as well. We have another side door. And again, all the doors had to be cut down, re-welded for the lower height. Everything is pinnable in the closed position and in the open position. So if I wanted to, I could take this door and I can pull up on this lever and I can get this to shut. So it locks in place. So if I need it to lock in place, there you go. I didn't realize when I bought this truck how convenient having a side access door is. So this allows me to get to the front of the load. It also allows me to get to the inner D-ring on the inside of this for tying things down, which comes in really handy, because usually half the time we're loading lumber, it's only on half the truck, not on the whole truck. When I'm carrying a big load, yeah, we strap over everything. On smaller loads, these D-rings are crucial, so I have a place to hook up. I could also hook up to here. There's also another cool feature that my welder fabricator put in. Underneath this side of the truck, he put in a piece of angle so that I can hook all of my straps, which are in this box. So I have these semi straps with this type of an end, and then I can hook them right to this extra part that he welded into. And then I can throw this over, and then I can strap it to those ratcheting strap winches on the other side of the truck. So these will just hang here, and I can use this for standard ratchet straps, and I can use it for these straps. And it just comes in handy because this never falls. So think about it, if you've ever had issues trying to strap something and this side falls off, the way that he installed these, it hooks on and I can just go about my business and it always stays put. And then once I'm cinched, and I'm not wasting time coming back to the other side of the truck to lock it down. These are the simple things that make a huge difference when you're doing this on the daily. If you own this over the years, It saves you all kinds of time and frustration, especially when you're doing things solo. This box came with the truck. If it was up to me, I probably would have put it in a little bit further because the rain kind of drips down here. The moisture gets inside of here. I also purchased a strap roller, so I can cinch this down to just about any part on the truck, and then I can roll my straps up very quickly. It was like a $25 item on Amazon. I use it all the time, and it makes my strap rolling up really easy. What it does is it allows me to say, oh, I'll throw another strap on there because I don't have to sit here and do this with it. I just wind it up, boom, it's done. There's a little built-in ladder right here that allows for access into this section of the truck. Okay, so we'll close this up. All right, another really cool feature. The welder, he put in these brackets for the bed. This one is in the open position at the moment when they're down like that, and there's grease zerks on these as well. And this locks the bed to the frame of the truck. Now, a lot of people won't realize what that does, but what it does is it keeps the bed from tipping when you're going around corners, when you're hitting bumps. It keeps the bed locked down to the frame. The only thing is, when you go to open the bed for dumping purposes, you really need to make sure that those pins are open, or else you're gonna rip them right off the bed of the truck. I've already been warned by the welder. So let's go over and open the other side, and then I'll show you how the dump works. So what I have to do is reach in here and twist this down, and now the bed's ready to open. So the controls for the bed are right here, and he even put in a warning to say unlock bed before we use this. So far for 1 year, I haven't forgotten to unlock the bed, and I'm usually the only one that drives this truck, so it's usually gonna be on me to unlock the bed. All right, so I'm gonna push this up button, and the dump bed's gonna start raising. Okay, I'm not gonna open it all the way, but you guys get the idea. But here's a view of the undercarriage below the bed, and I'll explain a couple things on the vehicle here. So this blue dial right here, or this knob, is for DEF fluid, which is diesel exhaust fluid. So I guess, I don't know if this is a deterrent, but it's something you have to do with these newer trucks with Ford, is you got to put in diesel exhaust fluid. It's for emissions, so it keeps the black smoke from blowing and that kind of thing. And the truck will tell you, they're so smart, the truck will actually tell you when you need it. And I've only had to put it in twice so far in a year. So it's not that big a deal. It's 25 bucks for 2.5 gallons. And there's a reservoir underneath here that holds the DEF fluid. Okay, there's also a reservoir for the hydraulic fluid for the dump. You can see right here where the welder put in an additional tube to mount all of the straps to along the way. And you can see over here where the fabricator put in an angle piece where we can put in where we have a place to attach our straps to. So this is an added piece as well, which I actually love this part right here. It seems simple, but man, it's so awesome to have. So the last thing I did on the exterior of the truck was, once all the welding was done and all the rack was perfect and I drove it for a while, then I had to get the graphics done. I really like black, it's my favorite color, and I love the flats. I've done other vehicles that way, so we chose a flat black theme, and we had this truck wrapped in flat black, and we did all flat graphics except for the visuals on the side of the truck. I'm big on social media, so it was really important to me people could find us online. You know, Instagram, YouTube are my most important pages, and then we have Twitter, Facebook, and all that as well. Put a couple first place award-winning decks on the side of the truck. Those look really nice. And then continued with our new 2.0 Dr. Decks logo, and put our slogan on the side of the truck, your prescription for quality, and then had that same logo dropped on the hood of the truck and on the badge of the front of the truck as well. Really more my speed to go this color scheme. Usually the colors of our company are black and silver, but this added a little more pop, a little more punch. And it was either go with blues or go with reds and oranges, and I kind of chose the red-orange look because I didn't want to look like a pool service company or something like that. So I'm really happy with the way that turned out. All right, that's the outside of the truck. Let's go to the inside. One thing I really was happy about was the fact that this truck was an extra cab. I don't know if they call this a four-door, but it has like the additional seats that can fold down, and you can carry up to 6 people with this truck if you really needed to. Usually it's just me and maybe one other person, but if we have a third man, we can fold down the jump seat over here, or the double on this side, I'm able to just put all kinds of things in here and not have to worry about not having room. Somebody can still sit up front. I can actually get 2 people to sit up front if I really need them to. So the back of the truck, I'm so glad I have that. I'm glad that I just didn't have just the single front. Another thing that's really cool about the truck, it has an app on my cell phone, and we got it linked up so I can actually auto start the truck, unlock it and lock it from my cell phone. It also tells me about the vehicle, how much fuel I have in it, all the statuses, any updates, so I can always keep it maintenance properly to keep that truck going as factory as the day I bought it. But what I use it for mostly is just to auto start the truck in the mornings, especially in the wintertime when things are cold out, and we'll just sit here. It takes 15, 20 seconds for it to start. I love that feature. And then you can also stop it. So that's the back. And then this is the front of the cab. It's pretty much, I have an F-350 and I've had Ford trucks for most of my career. It's pretty standard. It's not deluxe, but I bought the WeatherTech liners on the floors just because I didn't want to wear out the rubberized coating on the floor, because your heel of work boots will do that eventually. I did it in my old truck. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna make the investment, get some nice WeatherTechs that are easy to clean. I can just pull them out of the truck and rinse them off, soap them down, and then toss them back in and it's done. I just used a little glass cleaner today just so it looked nice for this video. All right guys, so we're in the inside of the cab. There's only one more thing I'm gonna do to this truck that probably in the future, but not right now. I'm just pretty happy with the way it's performing and stuff. So, you just put your key in. I'm gonna turn the volume down on this. So the factory stereo, it Bluetooths right to your cell phone, which is great. What I really like about this truck is there's all kinds of notifications on the inside. So it's telling us all these doors are ajar, great. There's a trip meter in the middle of the cluster. And then up above, you have all your standard like gas, heat, temperature, oil, temperature, or pressure and all that. There's your standard speedometer and your tach. Now, there are some cool drive modes. I usually drive in normal. There's towing and hauling, which I do use quite often, especially when I'm towing my trailer, because there's a built-in air brake that is used when you're decelerating down hills, but it really wraps the motor out into like the 3,000 RPMs. But it works really well. It helps slow down things. And then I got an eco mode, which I've tried, but not crazy about, and then slippery mode as well. But I just keep it in normal for normal driving until I'm towing. The steering wheel has a lot of great features on it. The one I use the most is probably when I'm Bluetoothing music. And also the Bluetooth for the audio for your phone works really well, in addition to your cruise controls over here, and then your cell phone functions are here, and then your audio functions are here. So those all work great. The one upgrade I'm gonna start the truck for a sec. The factory stuff is not bad, but what I don't like is this little tiny screen. So I have a backup camera on this vehicle, and I'm using this all the time to hook up to our trailers. And you can actually hit OK and zoom in, which is great, but it's not very big. I actually have to lean in to kind of look at it. Like when I'm backing up, I'm like this to try and see where that hitch is. So the one thing I'm gonna do in the future is I'm gonna do an 8-inch conversion, a 4-inch to 8-inch conversion, which removes all these side panels and puts in a much larger screen right here so that I can see when I'm backing up better. It'll change the configuration of this a little bit, but it is a little spendy. A couple other features that are cool about the truck. There's a 12-volt cigarette lighter adapter for your charging for cell phones. There's also an adapter for a 110 outlet, so I can use that if I really need to for power. And then there's another USB outlet down here and another port right here for an additional CLA if you need it. There's a little pocket here, which I never use because usually I'm putting my bag right here. And then you have your standard heat control. There's air conditioning, rear window defroster, which I never use because I can't see out the back window because of the bed. But I do love having air conditioning. This summer, it was nice to have that. There's your standard glove box, and there's a little extra storage spot right here that I keep an iPhone cable in case I need to charge something, and some miscellaneous items that I might need, a knife and a screwdriver. I almost forgot. Let's go take a look at the motor compartment. We can't finish this video unless you guys get to see the motor, right? All right, let's go. You guys ready? So I haven't done any modifications to this motor. I'm not going to do any modifications to this motor because I want it to last as long as possible. I've heavily modded my F-350, but you can kind of see the internals. It's a double battery setup, so most diesels that I've owned have 2 batteries installed, but everything else is pretty factory standard. If there's any information that you want to know, I'm sure you can go to Ford's website and Google Ford 2021 Ford F-550 and get that information for you. So there you go, guys. That is my 2021 Ford F-550. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, don't forget to click that subscribe button. Hit the bell icon if you want to be notified we're putting out new content. And leave me a comment below, ask any questions that you may have, or leave me a comment, let me know what you think of this video, and don't forget to like it as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day.